eyes open.
So we cut back to you guys walking through the portal into the Beastlands and the rolling hills and the sweet smells of nature and no decay, but rather fresh smells of life on the air.
Pupils are just like...
Yeah. And you guys are still exhausted as fuck. Two of you, Rick and Debbie, just slightly less exhausted than the rest due to Rosie. But you do notice that as you enter into the Beastlands that it is also high noon here as well. So the sun is straight up above, and you come in. It's a loose canopy of trees. Like, you're able to see the sky and you're able to see the distance a little bit, but there's enough cover that you can stay in shade for the most part. Zaza kind of just this way.
Debbie Frolics.
I'm surprised Jinx isn't face down.
I'm picturing Debbie like a dog on the
Jinx
her
is
back
still like
doing the
Yeah. She's doing the slow motion run as if she was running towards something she loves.
Can I get a disadvantage perception check?
Just like for everybody?
Whoever wants.
Jinx falls flat on her face in the grass and is not thinking about anything but grass.
She falls flat on her face in the grass?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
13.
Jinx is down. Jinx passes out for now. You don't know what.
24.
24?
Mm-hmm.
13?
See through space and time.
That was with disadvantage.
Oh, shit.
Oh, same.
20, not natural 20, just 20.
Yeah, unnatural 20.
The first one was still worse.
So what was the best score between you after disadvantage?
What was yours?
I rolled it the same number twice, so I'm unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20 twice, and then okay. So while Jinx is face down in the grass, the rest of the two of you, so you're taking in the sights and the smells, and you are hearing. So back in Wormland,
Nice.
you were used to the sounds of insects and birds. This was something that was established before that the plague itself didn't seem to affect insects or birds, and so they were always present with you when you were out beyond the city walls. Within the city walls is where you would see any other kind of farm animal or beast of burden kept alive by cleric magic and resistant to the disease. So meat was a rarity for anybody but the richer people.
I bet you we're kind of repulsed by meat because of the zombie thing, right?
We are meat.
There's a bit of that. It's kind of like culturally, like it's always been there, but it's like, yeah, I guess you would have grown up with recipes and whatnot, home cooked meals. Well, from the orphanage, you would have had gruel.
Gruel, yeah. I feel like meat probably disgusts
when you
me.
lived with Steelhorn, you probably got to experience some more meat.
So,
Ha!
But the two of
the
you
extra hard stare.
the two of you do notice though that above and beyond the sound of birds and insects, you're hearing the chittering of chipmunks and the occasional sound of other creatures of unknown variety. It's just out in the distance. You're hearing animals just in abundance, of course. Now also Jinx is on the ground.
Rick is going to be like, I'm assuming we've been wearing our masks for a while, so...
No, you took them off a while.
I'll be like, taking a deep breath, but guys...
Yeah, it is the freshest, cleanest
Buddy,
air.
pick up the druid.
Do you smell that? That is amazing, because, like, obviously Wormland probably smells like dead people all the time.
Oh wait, do I have another wild shape?
Yeah, you're not
like
high,
the
by
evil
the way.
type city, it's going to smell like armpits.
So, you're just
sewage,
exhausted.
So none of that.
Debbie breathes real deep because
Yeah.
Rick says it's safe, and then immediately sneezes because she realizes she's sick. Also in canon.
Jinx isn't drunk or high or anything except for exhausted. Just so we're.
Jinx turns into a ferret and
Are
rolls
you
around
asleep?
in the grass.
How many wild shapes do you have left? Because
2.
you've now. No.
Oh wait, no, I have. Oh
Friend,
no, I
You've
can't.
been a bear. You've been a spider. you've been a wolf.
Okay, no, I have no wild shapes left. Never mind.
You have
Jinx
2 total, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you're out of wild shaping.
Jinx thinks that she is a parrot and is just nuzzling the grass.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Then don't just pass out because we have to deal with your body if you're just laying there
She's nuzzling the
sleeping.
grass. That's all she's doing. Nuzzling the grass. Tell her to move, she'll move.
We all pick her up and put her on Durex, who I will summon. As
You-
before
you've
we
resummoned
came
him?
in, by the way, I never got to say that, but yeah. Like, when he went away, it would have been like a on-off. Because now I can do that.
yeah, you can. When he comes back and you telepathic link with him, he seems distressed.
Oh. Can he hold me? No, I can walk. Like, I'm not actually that destitute. I just grass. It's grass.
Oh, yeah, plant life and grass.
I will follow you guys.
Sorry,
once
you
start
said you
walking
just
away.
fell into the ground. Like it didn't
Oh,
sound like you
no.
were worshipping
I
the
was-
ground. It sounded
I
like you were
was
just
feeling the ground.
conscious.
No, as soon as you guys start walking away, I'll follow.
I guess Rick will be like, all right, Zaza, this is your deal here. So are we like gonna go? Is there a house we're going to, or are we just gonna go find a tree to climb in and like sleep in the branches? Because I'm good with that. No stranger to that.
Well, like I said before, we were going to go contact the unicorns.
Oh yeah, right. So you mentioned, do unicorns live in houses though?
Not that I know of, but I mean, just because I have not seen a unicorn in a house does not mean it does not exist. It is a very large multiverse.
I disbelieve this whole thing because I don't know what a unicorn is and I don't know that I've ever seen one and I don't know that they're real, so I disbelieve.
See the dead one.
Yeah, you've seen one.
Yeah, we saw the fucking zombie unicorn.
The one
dude.
drinking out of the pond of algae.
Remember,
In the
dude,
forest.
that horse with the horn.
We should
and
find these
face.
unicorns. That sounds like a good plan. I like it. You'd especially like to see a unicorn, I bet.
Okay.
I
Does
wanna
Kieran
see
do
the
anything?
unicorn.
James, for unicorns,
Kieran is just like basically just shuffling along at this point.
I
Just so
like
tired because
my
so much
ears
has
get
happened,
hot.
and it's just like, can we? Are we? Where's this? Where's bed, please? Where are we staying?
Okay, so the party shambles on. Ironically, actually, that this place is so full of life, and yet you all appear as zombies as you shamble along. Zaza indicates that you're just around the bend. You should be able to find that it's not always apparent to mortals traveling planes, but those who are friends with the unicorns always find the unicorns. And the grove. But before you come across the grove, though, a mighty white steed, a horse, pure white, with this lilac purple tail and mane going down, and a single white horn spiraling towards the sky, kind of like an ivory or seashell, kind of almost pinkish ivory, and there's a bright blue heart-shaped spot, like splotch, that is on.
You went there.
Yeah, that is on its rear, and it trots up and seems to, for a horse, be definitely emoting smiling as it seems to recognize Zaza.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, that would be you.
Oh.
Are you playing the unicorn?
What?
Bastion, my friend.
Hey everybody, I'm Bastion.
Please play it like a brony. Oh my god.
Hey, Zaza, what's up?
Bastion, it has been too long.
Just gonna pull a
Oh, I'm sorry. I know I said I'd come back with those sugar cubes I promised you. We came here on very short notice. I will make sure I bring it next time because you're my best bud when I'm here.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it.
I think I have some sugar cubes in my hair, man.
She might not. She
Yeah,
really might
no,
not.
here I got.
They might be drugs. Don't take those. They have acid in them.
They may cause some auditory or visual hallucinations, but it's pretty fun if you want to try.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on that. Thanks.
And you would know that no drug or poison would affect you. You're immune to all that kind of stuff. So
Still, I
It's just like-
appreciate the offer, but I'm gonna pass.
I don't mind.
straight edge, not by choice.
I'd sure like to enjoy the universe, but I can't.
Bastian, my friends here, they need somewhere to stay. We are hoping we could stay with the unicorns in the grove, but they're all very good. I vouch for all of them. Yeah. And she looks at Debbie for a second, then just looks back at Bastian. Yeah, no, I definitely vouch for all of them for these purposes.
You know what?
As Debbie keeps
Help me.
sneezing. She's allergic to something out here.
You know what? I know there's way better place to go. I think that we should go there instead.
Instead of the unicorn place? I mean,
Well,
these are friends. I mean, come on, Bastian, let them in.
well, I'm just saying, I'm rather busy at the moment, but I got this other place that's like, it's like a better place for lots of room and lots of,
Wait, can we just
They
chill here
need to
for a
sleep
couple
immediately.
minutes? So tired.
Is there anywhere we can sleep that we can? I mean, can you offer your protection and spend the night camp with us at least? I mean, we would love to get to the unicorn grove.
I see. Yeah, it's just a really bad time is all. But
Can I try to persuade him
Sure.
to, just he's the unicorn and say, like, we've met a unicorn before.
Don't tell him what state it was in.
Yeah.
Give some details.
That one was a nice unicorn, and we liked that unicorn.
What are you trying to persuade him?
Oh,
Just
To
to
let-
like you guys more, or?
No,
Oh!
to let
I
Okay.
cast.
let us go
I-
to the sleeping place that we're being kept out of.
Oh, okay. So I want you to roll with disadvantage a persuasion check while Jinx summons the consciousness
Don't forget to
to.
waste the mana down first. Right?
Not dominate beast, but the other
Oh,
one.
Jesus
Friend
Christ.
beast. So
Oh,
not-
we're going home. That's it. This was
Where
fun.
did it go? I had it.
Please don't cast things on the unicorn. That's Please don't do that.
What did you get?
Oh wait, no, it was a charm.
What did you get?
wasn't it?
Yes.
You don't.
Huh?
No, I'm
Yes.
not gonna do
A
that.
total of 3.
One.
A total of 1 or
I
not
have a
one?
plus
Oh,
9
wait,
to
disadvantage
persuasion. Should I help?
Means the least of 2 rolls, right?
Yeah, so you can't get higher than
Yeah, so you can't go lower than 1. So,
Oh,
That's
sorry.
over with.
No.
that. Okay, so you got a 1 total.
if you roll a critical fail on the first roll, there's no point to roll the second, right?
That's correct.
So there we go.
I
Okay.
think Debbie should probably take the reins on.
Ha! But horse joke.
Ah!
Okay, Bastion. The little gnome boy is trying to speak to you, and he's.
Look at you.
You were trying to persuade him of what again?
Just pleading for mercy, basically.
Right. He really wants to stay with you, but he's not really convincing, and you have other parts. You do notice that these people are absolutely exhausted, and they do need to camp out. You could probably find a place nearby, but there's no way you're letting them in the Unicorn Grove for reasons that you.
yeah, nearby would be fine. Yeah, I think I could find room for you guys.
All right. I mean, that's better than nothing. We're in the Beastlands, where the time is different at least.
Unicorn printers.
What's that?
Bastion, lead the way, please. Oh, wait, Bastion. These are my friends. Introduce yourself, friends, to Bastion, this unicorn here.
Hey, Bastion,
Yeah,
Debbie,
dude.
sup?
Oh, hey all!
Hi.
Great to meet y'all. Welcome to Beastlands. I'm Bastion. I live around these parts. It's pretty rad. You all seem all right. Come.
All right, and he turns around, and the lilac purple tail is just swinging back and forth, and you see the cutie mark in blue as you follow behind, and he leads you to not any place where you're seeing other unicorns, but you see a bit of a clearing where the trees go extra tall and kind of dome, like vault above you, but there's enough room for you to get around, and it feels like you're in the shade from the hot afternoon sun, and it's just dark enough. This would be a great place for you to camp out. And there's even conveniently a little circle of stones where a fire pit could be made.
Oh, sweet. You gotta find a spot. I know. You gotta find a comfy spot.
You notice that Zaza goes over and just leads Bastion a way a bit and tries to have like a bit of a heart-to-heart while you all start pulling out your various sleeping rolls, or in your case, I'm sure just sprawling out on the fluffy grass. The grass is pretty fluffy, and even with your sleeping bag over top, it's extra cushiony.
No, Jinx finds a nice, big, thick patch of moss and just curls up
So
in it.
damp.
It's like,
No moss is very damp, right?
I don't care.
Girax comes over and sniffs you for a bit, and then he lies down next to you.
Oh. I spoon Girax.
I feel like if any unicorns try to lead us to Candy Mountain, we should probably not go.
Charlie!
Seems like a
That's Penny Mountains, Charlie.
Now here's a question for y'all. You haven't eaten since you were at the restaurant.
I'm starving. I asked.
But it's right before sleep, so it's kind of like that 50-50 where it's
Yeah,
like,
but-
do I go to bed hungry?
I'm gonna eat.
'Cause
I
I'm
want.
so tired.
I want
Yeah, if I
Bastion
got-
to be like, "Hey, bud, what do unicorns eat around here? Can I eat a thing?"
You just drink from the pod. You survive on happiness, basically.
Do I like? I don't want to like. You gotta eat something. Other things
Jinx
gotta
has
eat something. What other
Probably
things
has
eat
some
here?
berries in her hair.
Oh shoot, I don't have crepes.
I'm not eating anything from your hair.
Wait, Rick. I'm a ranger. I can hunt up food, but do you guys? I don't know the rules of the Beastlands. Do you guys have any objections to things eating other living things? I mean, animals do it, but
So it is mostly okay. You know, as you would know this, that the hunting is all right, though being in the Beastlands and hunting a little too much, sometimes there's some consequences for the people that are visiting. I mean, it's nothing more than a little polymorph, but for the most part, you can hunt and eat anything here. The plants that appear here are 10 times their normal size. Flowers are just gigantic. Debbie or Garen could hide inside some of the flowers. And the fruit are also equally big and can easily sustain people, but it's not protein itself. There
I don't eat
is,
protein. I just find fruit.
you have on the way here spotted like big game of different sizes, like things that you're like, I could easily get us something.
yeah,
Really
it's
wanted
friends
to.
with you. And also, assuming we're in forest now, that's my next. I can forage for twice as much food.
Okay, so what would you like to go out and forage? Like, not, you don't have to be specific. I mean, like, are you going out and are you
Yeah.
hunting or are you gathering? Or are you doing both?
I think right now, probably just gathering. Hunting would take a lot more energy than probably Rick has right now. So just some quick gathering. So we
Okay.
can have a quick snack. Maybe hunt later once I've had a nap.
Okay. I mean, like, with your make a survival check.
I guess I'd be looking for like water.
Yeah, there's definitely some fresh water streams that you're able to refill the party's canteens with.
Survival check. It doesn't look like I get any advantages on survival checks on my natural explorer thing, I don't think.
No? Okay.
Well, not that's written on here anyways.
Okay. What would you?
That would be 15. So 25 straight up. I can't do math. 25.
Oh, 25. Well, that's definitely excellent. So you're going out and about, and you're noticing. I mean, even with your really tired state, you're looking around, and you feel really at home here. Like, this is super comfortable to you, and you're seeing the plants, and there are leaves and berries that just totally speak of like, oh, that's poison or it's just garbage. You wouldn't digest it or whatever. And then you quickly identify the more edible fruit. You find these like things that are like the color of plums, but the size of like really large apples growing off of one tree. You find some root vegetables that are pretty good. So
Carrots!
you find fruits and vegetables and even some seeds that like a bounty, and you guys can all eat pretty well.
Oh.
And unless there's anything else, I want to know anything about like camping, like what you guys do for, are you doing watch, or are you guys just like camping in the safety of the Beastlands?
Well, I thought that.
Or with the having Bastion around, basically.
Well, I thought that like
I'm doing
we
shifts.
established that every time we made camp, Dirax would just sort of walk around because he's not a real
Yeah.
thing.
He could
He is a
keep
real,
there.
he is a real thing.
No.
But he could be our lookout, right?
Yeah, he can do that, but
Yeah,
it
he
just,
can
it just
fly.
means that you're all asleep, and then if something happens, he has to get to one of you or make some sort of noise or do something to wake you up.
That's
But like,
true, yeah.
it's an extra step involved. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's still be no different than any of you solitarily doing the same thing. So,
Only you would have a trust.
but
Right.
I mean, you can take care of them.
I think we're all so exhausted though. We almost like
You're wide awake too. This is like
would
middle
we
of the
actually
day.
somebody, or would we just pass out? Like, who would stand up and be like, "I'll take first watch"?
I did
in
say
this
that,
Oh
but
situation?
yeah,
You did?
Debbie and,
No,
and
I'm trying to
Rick
go
were gonna
around
take
and
first
get
watch.
everybody's
No, I know, I
Only
just-
have
I-
one point of
yeah.
exhaustion.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so let's
Yeah.
in order. So I guess Debbie takes first watch, and you guys all go to sleep.
Rick is comfortable just going to sleep and not worrying about watcher. I think he might be just a little bit too just tired.
Yeah.
of cold beast.
All right, so Debbie, you stay up for 2 hours and hang out with Bastion. Do you guys have a conversation?
Yeah, I want to talk to him, but I want to find my purse. That's what I want.
Like
Oh,
hung up?
it's probably hanging up because the cat was trying to attack it.
Yeah, so I probably talk to Bastion and find out what unicorns do. What do you do all day, Bastion?
Do
I do lots of stuff, you know. All the things that unicorns do.
What does this specific unicorn do?
Well, now you're getting kind of personal, don't you think?
Well, I just thought since we got some time, we could get to know each other, Bastion. I am hitting on the unicorn. Debbie is hitting on the unicorn.
Pretty
Okay.
sure its junk would be longer than your whole body.
And that is a challenge.
Do you have a bag of holding for a vagina?
Oh,
Yeah, Debbie's gonna bet a unicorn.
can you pass me the Barbie book?
He's gonna get impaled.
Yep.
This
That's
one over
exactly
here?
the point,
It'll be
isn't
like
it?
camel.
This one over here?
Oh yes, please. Yes, never mind.
Okay.
So, I guess we can say dwarf, angel, and potentially unicorn now. To add to the list of like species that Debbie has had sex with.
Hey, this is none of
Or
your
been
business. It
involved with.
hasn't happened
Seems
yet.
weird,
I'm not
right?
betting
Or
on
had a crush on
Bastion.
Are you wanting to make a persuasion check?
Yep.
Roll with disadvantage. You're still exhausted because you haven't gone to sleep
I
yet.
am not, but I'm still charismatic. Oh, jeez, come on, to the table. Okay, I need to.
Use your dice roll. The lid.
I know. I just disorganized.
Okay.
First one. 25. Wait. 23.
Okay.
Second one. 18.
18. I'd say with an 18, that you can decide whether or not you want to take to Debbie's advances, but
Or at least be
Unicorns.
mildly interested.
so it's like
Yeah, I appreciate it, but I'm gonna pass on that one.
So yeah, but you talk about me to my friends, right?
Yeah.
So you let me know who else is around.
So after about 2 hours, does Debbie bed down? Does she wake somebody else up?
Yeah, she wakes Rick up.
Rick, do you bother to get up?
No.
Okay.
Do any of the other folks want to wake up?
I mean, Bastion's awake, so and everybody else is asleep.
I'll be up after 4 hours.
Wait 4
You're
hours.
an elf,
I don't know.
You're not going to get a long rest.
You don't even sleep.
No, I only need 4 hours for a long rest.
Sure.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can help with the second shift.
No.
Debbie's taken the first 2 hours of the night, so I'm just... not the night, but the middle of the afternoon. Like, it's very bright. It's very bright
Sorry,
outside it being shaded where
Debbie's
you are.
not going to go to sleep until there's one other person on watch. Because
Besides the unicorn.
besides the unicorn, who
Okay.
she just met, does not trust.
And Dirax.
And yeah, Garrus is also
Dirax
awake.
is circling.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Garrett's has got it.
So what do? None of these people are giving input because they're asleep.
Okay, we'll wait till Jinx is up and then I'll go sleep.
Alright, so you try to wake up Rick, and he's like, I don't want to. And he goes back to sleep.
I fart in his mouth while he's sleeping.
Like, I brought you all these mushrooms, fuck off.
If he's not gonna wake up, I'm literally farting in his mouth.
And then you wait 4 hours, or you wait another 2 hours,
Yeah.
and get Jinx. Jinx comes out of her trance and is feeling fresh and restored, and Debbie finally passes out. I'm gonna say you're gonna sleep in a bit, because you need to get your thing.
Yeah, y'all gotta wait because no one would fucking help.
That's not what happened. But anyway, you guys all get your hit points back. You get half your hit dice back, and remove 1 point of
Oh, I
exhaustion.
don't have my hit dice usually written down.
So remove 1 point of exhaustion if you had 2. Now this means that your movement's back to normal if you have 1 point. Your movement's back to normal, but you still have disadvantage on ability checks.
Yes.
You would need either magic or more rest in order to get back to normal feeling. But for the most part, you all kind of wake up refreshed by the end of it. I assume that the shift kind of gets passed on. Jinx, well, Jinx is done, so she ends up taking up the rest of the shift, and Debbie is able to sleep finally. With Jinx, Gearix, and a strange uniform.
Not much better, trust me. She does not sleep fitfully.
Every time somebody
false.
wakes up or tries or makes too much noise, Jinx just goes. Can't sleep.
I don't know. Have we put the cat away yet?
No.
It's chewing on your sweater is what it's doing.
Yeah. Kitten.
Okay, Debbie, you wake up and you immediately know that you have all your stuff and all your bits
I better.
and no new holes.
I better.
Okay. And the rest of you all wake up very refreshed in the still high noon. 8 hours later. It's still, sun is right overhead. You have just the canopy above you kind of giving you any kind of shade. Temperature hasn't changed at all. It's still very pleasant. Yeah, Zaza, it was curled up in a little cat ball and is finally stretched and come to.
Bess asks her if it's always this time of day and temperature here.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
This is a place called Krigala. This is the layer of the Beastlands that is always in afternoon light. There's 2 other layers. I forget the name of one of them. One is named Brooks, and Brooks is always midnight. And there's another one that is always like morning or something. I don't know. It's all the different phases, but it's perpetually that time of day. And animals that are larger and more predatory tend to be in the midnight realm, whereas this tends to be more of the docile place to be.
So this place seems beautiful, relatively safe, very plentiful. What's stopping people from coming here and spending all their time here?
Because there's nothing to do. You can't really. I mean, there are some places where they make like a small village here and there, but for the most part, there's no industry allowed, no mass hunting, nothing to sustain a population of humanoids. They can't live. Humanoids can't live well in balance with the rest of nature. They have to learn to. Well, you have people like us. And she puts her arm around Jinx. You have people like us to teach you.
After hearing that, Durin pipes up and he says, well, thank you very much for letting us here then.
I mean, my pleasure. You're going to help me rescue Amerigo when we get back. I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, let's get
Spend
that
a-
bird dude.
And a little time to rest up. Bastian. So can we go to the Grove of the Unicorns now?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Why not?
I'm kind of busy today. maybe do something else
Well,
today.
well,
And,
dude. You could just draw us a map and we can just go by ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, that would be fun.
We can't get there unless the unicorn leads us
Oh,
there.
really?
It's a
Come
found only if you
on,
want to be found.
Like,
I'm
I'll help
sensing
you with
a
your stuff. I'll help you with
hesitancy
your
here.
stuff if you want to just like give us a little take us there like super quick.
See, it's a problem because I'm not really good at drawing maps.
Well, no,
you know,
no,
with
no,
these
no.
boobs.
You could just,
Just
like,
lifts up
put
like
it
a
aside.
little bit of
You
like,
could just
yeah.
like take us there,
And
then we'll after you take us there, like they'll go and talk to the unicorns. I can go help you do all your like errands and
By the
stuff after you take us there. Like I can totally help you with all your shit,
Cute.
man.
What? Wait, what? How about
And
you?
like also, you want some sugar cubes? And
Well,
I had the same sugar cubes for my hair.
no, that sounds
Like,
dreadful.
good.
Well, what I would like to do.
Oh. -2 hit points for a bad pun. Go on. You want this shit from my hair? No, it's dreadful. Let me just repeat it so you all know that
I
it
need to
happened.
throw up in my mouth a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're at 65 hit points. Go on.
We're, yeah.
This is D&D.
I knew that. Thank you.
Dog.
So what I had in mind is, I got a couple errands to take care of over in this plateau. Why don't you come with me there, and then maybe afterward we'll see if we can get you to. Where was this you wanted to go again?
Zaza just deadpans and like tries not to laugh. She knows that you're putting them on.
Bastion, is there something we can help you with?
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can help me with. Right now, I kind of want to get myself over to the Great Plateau. That's kind of where I'm heading. If you guys want to join me over there.
Why do you want to go there, dude?
Well, it's not really any of your business, is it?
Well,
Well, if you guys if you want us to follow you there, you kind of gotta like let us know what's there.
I have some
Otherwise-
business to take care of over there. I'm just saying you could join me, and then after I've taken care of my business, we can go do whatever this.
Like you'll take us to the unicorn world.
Zaza kind of gives you an aside, just kind of to the rest of the group as these two are having this conversation. And she says,
Dude,
unicorns are
Come
fake
on, dude.
creature. They're kind of like angels, but the Fey realm, it does not mean they're
come on.
great, personable, or anything like that.
Hmm.
They're great, they're good, they're goodly, and all that.
Does that
But,
mean they're just like not all there?
I mean, you make your judgment. I'm not saying anything. He's my friend. Don't you touch shit, my friend. But they tend to need you to prove your worth to them in some way. I've already done this many times with Bastion over and over again. That's why I am welcome. But
Sounds like you're just fucking lazy. Need help.
Bastion, what is going on at the Great Plateau?
Well, I'll go help them.
Okay, bye.
Alright, well, you see, I got some problems with these dinosaurs.
Why?
I want to kill a
fuck
dinosaur.
is
I
a
love dinosaurs.
What is going on with the dinosaurs this
They're
time?
they're kind of out of control, and they're like upsetting the balance of the beastlands, and so I need to get over to the Great Plateau. That's where the dinosaurs normally are. So I need to find out what's going on.
Okay,
I could use your help.
I'm happy to help with
You
like
need
restoring
help?
the balance of nature. That's
Yeah.
in my range or thing. But like, what is it? What did you say? Dinosaur?
Yeah.
Is this like some sort of
Oh.
people? What do you speak of?
Dinosaur.
Dinosaurs were gummies.
Yeah.
Next game,
You mean
I'm going to
dragons?
have a die that
Do
I'm
you
going
mean
to pick.
dragons? There's
It
dragons.
is going to
over
be
there.
the punishment die.
Oh god.
I've heard them
To punish
spoken of
monsters.
as such.
And it'll be how much damage psychic you take every time you make. I mean, it's part of Rick's character, so it's okay. You might get inspiration and take damage. I don't know.
Why can't I just do it to other people instead as part of my bardic powers?
Yeah, that's true. Bardic powers. That's right. Okay, so Bastion pretty much explains to you that there is something going down at the plateau. That while dinosaurs do usually exist, and you have no idea what he's talking about. He keeps saying dinosaurs, and you're just hearing like large lizard. You don't know what the hell he's saying.
Okay.
But he's saying that these creatures live not in harmony, like they're still predators and prey, and there's herbivores, carnivores, and all that. But they kind of live kept to themselves in a balance on this plateau. And you can kind of get the feeling that this whole place is about balance. That this is upset that unicorns are probably the ones dispatched to take care of it.
Oh, jeez, Steve.
Shit.
You okay, bud?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You
It's all
alright?
good. Yeah. It's fine. Nothing's damaged. Don't worry.
Yeah,
It's
we
just a
can-
really
you
awkward
okay?
angle to like put that up there.
Yeah. The couch is normally further back or further forward. It's sorry that it's not helpful.
It's all good. Nothing damaged.
Thanks.
Everything's fine.
It's like slow motion.
Let's see.
Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. So Bastion does explain this to you guys, and you want it.
Sure.
Let's go help that unicorn dude.
Yeah.
Uh,
As long as it's not going to take too long. I mean,
The plateau is like half a day's travel from here. It's nothing. We can do it. Yeah, I mean, some adventure. Are you feeling better?
yeah.
All of you? Yeah? Did you change your spell loadout at all?
Necromancy styles.
Hmm?
You have a corpse with you still that you're carrying on your shoulder? We'll,
Oh,
s-
yeah.
we'll s- we'll say you
Corpse.
prepared the Speak with Dead. Do you want to do this now? Do you want to do this later?
Later, because like right now we're kind of focused on helping Bastion.
We gotta carry a dead body through the wilderness to where there are dinosaurs. That sounds like a really great idea.
Actually,
Or are you sure we don't want to just chop the head off and put it in my sack like my original
Is this
plan?
something that we could like do while we're walking?
no, you need to focus for
Why didn't you try to do that while we were having a rest?
Right.
you
Because I'm
can't
resting.
because you're resting.
Because we were sleeping.
After our
That's
rest.
implicit. You
Because you started
because
talking
that's
to the
now.
unicorn and decided
After
this.
that is now. So you're at present. You can cast it now if you want. You can't cast it while moving. It requires burning some incense and a little bit of ritual to speak with the dead itself.
Or scimitar.
Either way that you do it, you do have a dragon that you could use to be a load-bearing animal for this.
And also be a meat sack on the back of the train of people going through the wilderness full of animals!
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to yell that.
Yeah, I guess, Rick, you might kind of have something to say about that, too.
About which?
The
Dragging
meats.
a freshly dead corpse through a forest.
Yeah, definitely. No, yeah, that's going to attract some things that we don't want to attract, like bears or owl bears.
I'm
or
just saying, if we're not doing this
large
now,
carnivorous things. Let's maybe not
Debbie's
drag
like
a dead body
opening
with us.
the sack and going, eh?
Or stuff
Okay,
in
well,
there. I don't want to get
let's-
gross.
Okay, let's do it. Let's just quickly.
Speak with him and then bury him.
Let's just
Okay.
quickly do it.
He
So, I mean,
deserves that,
for
at
you,
least.
Bastion, this is nothing new. You've seen this kind of magic before. It's very low-level cleric-like magic, but you just kind of, like, chew some cud, minding your own bees. Zaza maybe comes up and kind of just, like, reminisces with you a little bit as these guys finish it. Ness, you take some time. It takes about 10 minutes in total. You burn a bit of incense. And these are going to, for, I would say, Debbie, Rick, and Jinx the most. Mostly Debbie out of the three of you that I've said. This takes you back to the halls of the institution itself, of church and state. The smells of the incense that she burns is the same incense and only incense that was really sourced on Wormland. Yes, what?
Jinx never went to church.
Okay, cool. You have no experience
Yeah.
on this. That's fine. But with Speak with Dead, you grant the semblance of life and intelligence to a corpse of your choice within range, allowing it to answer the questions you pose. The corpse must still have a mouth and can't be undead. The spell fails if the corpse was the target of this spell within the last 10 days. So if it's already been used, you can't use it again, which that's not applicable. Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the... Sorry?
Sorry,
What's
I was
going
talking now.
Okay, well, go ahead and have your conversation.
Oh, I just said that she can put him in the room when she's done cuddling.
Oh, okay. Like you want it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
do
I
I.
just said.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said could. I was like, oh, no, should.
We can ask him 5 questions.
So 5 questions. Corpse.
Where's Canella?
I'm going to finish reading this description to whoever's listening. The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer if you are hostile to it or it recognizes you as an enemy. The spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body, only reanimates the spirit. Thus, the corpse can't learn new information, doesn't comprehend anything that has happened since it died, and can't speculate about future events. So those are the constraints of Speak with Dead that you would know implicitly as you're
so
casting
we
this.
don't want it to recognize us as enemies.
Well, it won't be as truthful to you, that's for sure.
Right.
If it thinks that you're...
Exactly. So we need to disguise ourselves.
Yeah, we can say you have kind of like a pre-game conversation of like
Yes.
before
Like
you
what,
go
what,
in
what
and
5 questions are we gonna ask? Who's gonna do the asking? And how are we gonna?
yeah, this can get you a lot of information depending on how it goes.
Well, here's the thing. We can't disguise ourselves in any meaningful way that will help us. Like, we can't look like a gift. And he's not going to talk to me because I killed him. And he's not going to talk to you guys because he knows that. But he'll answer the questions under those constraints. So we have to assume that whatever he tells us is a lie. So we need to catch him in something in order to actually have meaningful
So
information.
your understanding of the spell would include that, like, you can be tricked. It doesn't know that you're you unless you look like you looked when you killed them, kind of thing. So as long as you guys don't look like the last thing that it saw.
So here's the thing. We are what do you want to call it? We're private dicks, and we were hired by the city to track down this party that killed this guy, and we are the detectives who have reanimated him in order to find out why they would have killed him. So therefore, we need to know where Canella is.
You get the sense that it's not so much cover story, but just straight up recognizing it. Like, you don't need to deceive the corpse so much with, like, convincing it. You need to just not be recognizable.
Let's get the unicorn to ask
No,
the
but
questions.
it's about motivation to answer correct or
It's
honestly.
it's compelled by the spell to answer no matter what. It has to answer. If it knows that it's talking to hostiles, then it might not answer truthfully, sure. But it's not like a... I'm saying it's simpler than you're making it.
Zaza should just do it. We should just get Zaza and ask him.
Does
She was there during the fight too.
Let's get the unicorn to ask some questions, dudes.
Do that.
Not a bad idea.
Unless any of you have disguise magic or disguise kits or any other way of changing your appearance, like... I know you're a wizard. I don't know what kind of spells you have, though.
I have
You have more
disguise
elemental,
kit.
right?
I could.
You have disguise self?
Okay.
There.
So are you? So is somebody proposing this to Garen that he should use his disguise kit and make himself over into
You have a
something?
disguise kit as well?
I'm pretty sure I do because I'm an actor. That's
Nice.
my backup thing.
Wow.
Oh, cool. That's right. Charlatan and an actor. That's great.
Charlatan.
So are we turning Garen into a dinosaur?
Well, no, you have to propose this to me though.
Zaza would point out that like the thing can't really move because it's a corpse, so like you can hide behind it. You know, like use
Yeah, but that could just be like a fucking.
you know, whoever doesn't want to be
We need to
recognized
figure
just
out how to
literally
find
just
her,
has to
so
be
we need
standing in
limit our
front of him.
questions around
So it kind of
that.
simplifies
Like, we want
it
to
a
know
bit.
what the queen is because we want to know
Don't
what our
seem
king
to have a
is.
spell card.
We want to know where Camilla is. We want to know
This guy's self
where
is
their
first level.
hideouts are in the city. We want to know what they know about us. So those sorts of things, like do they know we're from Wormland? Do we need?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have a card. Man.
Where's their headquarters?
Yeah, it's on the list.
What's their weakness? Do they have one?
Oh my god, I almost wrote D&D 5th edition Dinosaur Self. That is not the spell I'm looking for.
Dinosaurs.
Disguise self is first level illusion spell. Bard is on the Bard spell list. Do you have it on as a bard for yourself?
I have it written down on my sheet, so I have the spell.
Okay, so you can do a disguise self, and then I know for a fact that there are 2 people in your party with disguise kits.
Yep. I can disguise myself. I have
Yeah, do you want to do that?
Oh, sorry. I thought everybody else was doing it.
Nobody has
Everybody's
had a
jumping in.
conversation yet,
I
so
know.
this is now.
But like we're on the point where we're discussing if you can cast stuff, and I'm just like, well, what's if you can cast it? That's clearly better than me disguising myself and asking questions.
Sure, if you want to have one person in charge of asking questions. If you want to think of this, if you had multiple people disguised and multiple people are there interacting with it, otherwise everybody else has got to hide
Yeah.
because you're going to be recognizable. And by hide, I mean just stand behind the corpse. But
Yeah.
but like whoever's going to be answering, asking the questions now with a disguise kit, you could make yourself or somebody else. So you do have the option of more than just Rick.
Can I ask a question? Would it be helpful for the questioner to have higher persuade or something like that to convince this thing to talk to us? Does that matter at all?
No.
Alright, then Rick can do it, and we will write down the questions, and done.
Cool. Easy. Now you've had a conversation about it.
Rick, do you want to know the questions that we were discussing?
Yes.
Do you want to write them down, or do you want me to write them down and pass them to you?
Yeah, write them down. Pass them.
Give me just a minute.
Okay, so Debbie works up the questions. The corpse is there, the incense is burning, and the ritual's somewhat begun. Like you're kind of like going through it a little bit slowly.
Ness is casting this, right?
Yeah.
How does that work? Are you
I'm
like
hiding behind the corpse.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of it, so it can't.
Jinx is just talking to the unicorn.
Are you like pointing
So,
at
like,
it? Are you like going
How
like
long
that?
have
Are
you
you
been a
like
unicorn, dude?
It says
Like,
to
Always?
do a little meditation,
like a
probably.
ritual kind of?
saying like some prayers and some ancient draconic or whatever.
So,
Like the draconic equivalent of Latin.
Sweet. I didn't become a unicorn,
And then you smash a
I
glass in
always
the ground.
wanted
You're
to
like,
be a
Opa!
unicorn.
Oh, this isn't a Greek restaurant.
Wait, you fill the. Did you just fill it? Dump it all
Does
out?
anybody have my lighter?
What was the last one?
And what do you
Where is
burn?
Canella? Who, what is the queen? Where is the gift gang? Hangout? Or
Does anybody
I'm
have
supposed to say hideout.
No, I want my purple lighter.
Is the purple light over here?
Hideout.
You
What
got
do they know
passed
about
around.
Debbie's
It was on the
jets?
table. I think.
And
Really?
What is the goal?
we need to be a little
I
more
found that
specific.
insulting.
Because we know the goal is to get the
Calling
sword
it
back.
all stupid.
No, I was making a joke of like you talking to me
Because
because
it's
you were
an
making eye
item that's
contact. and I
powerful,
said,
right?
"It's
Like it
stupid."
might just be like a gift thing. That's something that doesn't necessarily, like, how does that change getting to them and getting more information? We want to ask the questions that are going to give us more information that way. So then, yeah, what are the weaknesses? What is
We're
it?
having this conversation. What are you two doing?
I'm chatting with the unicorn.
You chatting with the unicorn?
Yeah.
Getting to know the unicorn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're having a conversation about how he became a unicorn.
As the only lawfully good person in this party, I would probably be doing the same. I would just be hanging out, having no part in any of this.
I just don't care.
Yeah, you're neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm the only
Jinx
good
just
part.
wants to be a unicorn, so she's getting all the info she can on becoming a unicorn.
Oh yeah, wasn't that your goal the whole time?
I got new goals now.
Dave, did
It's
you
still
read
in the
them?
back of your head.
Yeah.
Do you understand them? Do you
Yeah.
understand how you're gonna ask them so that you can manipulate them? Really get them in your head hole.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Get him right in there.
So I guess the first question is what do you disguise self as?
Shit. I guess I'd have to disguise myself as a kid, but not the one that had the communicator thing on it, because you know that guy's compromised.
You don't know anything about the Gith. A lot of their looks could indicate different factions, sects.
But you have seen some.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, like the one that we killed. Maybe they could think he's missing in action, and then I could pretend to be that guy. So I'm gonna try and go for it. I hope they don't realize that he was also dead.
Again, remember, part of the spell's description indicates that it does not act on learning new information or anything
Yeah,
like that. Like, it's not trying to work it out or how it can, like, best deceive you for its own future plans. At this point, it's dead. It knows it's dead. It just
Yes.
didn't... If you were, like, just finished killing it and didn't disguise self and asked it some questions, it'd be like, fucking saw it off. But if you just do any kind of disguise... If you're not you... That's helpful. If you're Gith, that's more helpful.
Well, I guess I don't have to be here for this to work, then I won't do that, because there could be all kinds of cultural bullshit we got no clue about. So
Why don't you just make it look like? Why don't you just change into his buddy?
you change into a bunny.
His buddy, just look like his buddy.
Just look like his buddy.
No, that's what I was saying, though, is there might be like cultural bullshit that I would have no clue about. So
Or you could just
I'm just gonna
look
turn
like
into.
a person that doesn't have your face.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'll just turn into somebody I don't know that I saw on the street.
Just somebody you saw on the street in Sigil or... Okay, cool. So you change it... What, human?
Sure.
Okay. So we'll say some human. Random. So the rest of you stand behind... So Ness has set this guy up, this corpse that you brought with you. Has set him up against the tree. And has gotten kind of behind him, or to the side of him along the tree itself, and just has one hand on the shoulder as you're doing the incantation. Everybody else is staying behind the tree with her, and Rick, disguised as just some random dude, is there in front of him. Let me just double check here who it was that you took with you. Oh yeah, this guy. Oh, which you haven't searched or anything yet.
Yeah, we haven't searched that body yet.
It can happen whenever. Okay.
Oh, actually, can I change my mind?
Sure.
Can I wait?
What?
Well, what are you changing your mind about?
Oh, just thought I'll be there for that because Kieran would be curious about the magic that you were doing.
Well, yeah. Well, it's kind of assuming you guys are kind of like just standing a safe distance so the corpse just can't see you. You're standing behind it, kind of observing what Rick is now doing as he interacts with it.
But I mean, like, I don't want to be part of it, but I'd be watching.
Okay. I get you.
Just
Yeah,
kind of like sitting in a bush, watching, touching yourself.
So just to remember, this is the corpse that came from the one that had almost taken you out. Had taken a dissonant whispers, was critically bit by a dire wolf, guided bolted, all of that jazz.
Who summoned the dire wolf?
I'm the direwolf.
Oh, you became one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were dire wolf and then the giant spider or something like that.
Dire wolf's fine.
Dire wolf spider. So Ness finishes the incantation. The smell of the incense is burning in your nostrils, and then suddenly you see the stub-nosed, spotted-faced corpse just kind of like And it's looking straight at Rick, as you're the only one it makes contact with. So it's just taking a really deep breath.
Okay, Rick's gonna be like, oh my god, you're awake. I thought you were done for sure. Oh shit, Friendo, you're lucky. Wait, does he know he's dead? Okay, I missed that part.
Yeah, you don't have to prevent this. You need to ask 5 questions.
Okay. Alright.
Part of the spell will compel him to
Okay.
answer you.
Oh, in that case, yeah. Alright. I have some questions to ask you. First off, I need to know, where is Canella?
He looks closely at you, looks you up and down. Says, Canella is under the hand of Gith. Sorry, the face of Gith. The face of Gith. Which rings a bell, but keep going.
Alright. I also need to ask you, who or what is the Queen?
To who? Oh, sure. You guys don't want it? Okay. He says, our Queen, Vlaketh, the immortal. She leads the Githyanki people. And has seen our dominance over our enemies, the Mind Flayers.
Well, ain't nobody like Mind Flayers.
Nobody knows what they are.
I'd say the friend of
No,
the
you've
enemy
met
of
one.
my enemy is my
Oh,
friend
that's
on
right.
that one.
Yeah, we did the bar. Yeah, I forgot. You were hitting on his girlfriend.
What is,
So that's 2 so far, okay?
I also need to know, what does Canella fear? What is she afraid of?
It takes a moment, you're like, probably failure. The revenge of our commander would be severe should she fail in retrieving our precious sword.
Excellent. Well, better see about getting that sword back to her then. Where exactly does her and her gang hide out? Where's the gift? I'll be stable.
In the hive ward, under the face of Gith.
So the big ugliest thing in the hive ward after that. Now, let's have another mutual enemy other than the Mind Flayers I want to ask you. What do you know about Debbie and the Jets? That's what they call themselves.
Debbie.
We'll have
The
to
folks who
remember to
have
say my
the
name
sword,
like
as I understand.
Those Jets. They're the ones who stole away all of our precious things. They had that nasty Githix armor. We got it back. All of it.
That's it, that's all.
That they must have it in their bag of holding. Is all we could figure out before they. And just as it starts to form the word attack, you hear the. As all the rest of the air is drained out of it. And that was your 5th question.
Cool. Thanks,
The
buddy.
corpse,
Have fun
it's
and get
already,
help.
it's just, you're talking to a thing that is like slumped slightly
Still-
sideways.
Still get to say it as it's slumping, be like, all right, thanks, guy. Have fun and get help.
Okay.
Cool. Now we
Then
know
know
some
we're
things.
from Wormlands, so that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Because that's where my shit is.
Somebody else can have that now. Dill.
Yeah, it needs my notes. So I can get back.
To be fair, you don't know that it might have had like
I know.
enough opportunity to be that verbose, whether or not they were doing that kind of thing.
Really hoping.
It was definitely focused on its objective in life. And you could tell that for sure from the questioning. A shiver goes down Bastion's spine as the ritual finishes, and it's like, it's not that it's the worst thing to see. I mean, like, death is a natural state and whatever, the balance.
Not like we haven't seen dead things
And-
walking and
and-
talking.
Something's going to come along and eat this toot sweet, and it's not an issue. But a little bit of necromancy is always just a bit of a creepy thing to see, even if it's from...
How do you feel about doing your first necromantic spell?
A little weird.
Yeah, but you kind of liked it.
So Rick would definitely be like,
Yeah.
actually saving people weird out by the whole thing.
I mean, it's for
What
a
are you gonna
good
do?
cause.
It's fucking ridiculous.
All right, so you have these answers. You have this corpse. Do you do anything else with the corpse?
I searched the corpse.
Roll an investigate.
Let's be investigating.
Also, I encourage the fuck out of all of you to use your skills as much as you want, as much as possible. They are there to leverage a situation. Because
Yeah, don't
anytime
roll magic.
not just that, just anytime you can roll really, really well or get like a natural 20, it's an outstanding success, and you end up pulling something really
Not
incredible
good.
out. Sorry.
I rolled an 8 plus 2. So 10.
10. Okay, no, that's it's par, is what it is. On that
But I
guy.
spend extra long doing it
Okay.
so that I can make sure to get a real good look at it.
Well, he's wearing a half plate similar to the other guy, along with the monastic robes. He seems to have about 2 bangles on him, like those bracelets that are just solid gold, probably worth about 25 gold each. He does indeed have a sending stone on him, which is that stone with the ruin on it, and I'd say some of this has fallen out of his pocket along the way. You find about 27 silver. All the gold and copper have just fallen out from the corpse being mishandled, upside down, sideways, being on the back of different creatures, and tossed on the back of a human. The shoulder firemen carried by it. Yeah, a woman in her 50s who's just fucking built like a shit right now. So, yeah. Those are the things
Now, I would highly suggest we don't leave this body anywhere near the door we came in.
Mm-hmm.
We can leave it right here. Probably.
Oh, you don't want to bury it? Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm sure Donna's fine with that too. I'm sure you don't feel bad about
I mean,
just
you've
leaving
you've
that
traveled
corpse out.
you've traveled a bit. Like, you know, you're not near the door too
I'm
much.
fine with that. I'm just trying to give Ness shit.
Oh,
I'm just trying to
okay.
question her goodness
Okay.
constantly.
Ness, how do you feel about the body being left here? Do you feel
He
like
did
this?
try to hurt us. He's probably a bad man.
Yeah, we should probably.
I say a little bit like
And your mind goes back and recalls like how you found Gilmary and Sylvanus, and how it just seems that your bodies go back to the wild, and that being in this place, you know that you're kind of in an afterlife already, and it's actually maybe even unclear. Well, roll a religion check.
Ooh, 7.
7. Okay, it is definitely unclear to you how it would work when somebody dies when they're out here. You're like, so if I'm in like the plant and animal heaven and I die, where's my soul go? Does it stay here? Does it go where it's supposed to go? You're not quite sure. And it does kind of puzzle you, and it's a question that you want to kind of bookmark for later. But
animal heaven. Why are not every dog I've ever lost in my whole life and all of the kittens? Are they all here? Can we find them again?
Make an investigation.
Please tell me Bastion's mission involves kittens.
Oh God, I hope so.
Kitten dinosaurs.
I rolled a 2.
That would be terrifying.
Okay.
Imagine
+2.
dinosaur-sized
+2.
kittens.
You're looking and you're sure just around the next corner, maybe they're there.
Oh, I can't wait to find Charlie.
Do you go along with Bastion?
Yeah.
Okay. Bastion leads you off. Anything else you guys want to discuss or do before you move on from the body?
I elect cake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You want to do cake?
We can do cake.
Probably do cake. It's 11:30. I don't know how late
I
you
like
guys
cake.
can go.
we can go
What,
for
uh,
as long as
It's the lowest common denominator, so
yeah.
I think Al
Whoever
might be done
gets to
soon,
leave
but it's
first.
about getting them home and not dying before then. I don't know if we can have a battle at this point. That's for sure. Got a lot of social done. I have 2 set pieces. I wasn't sure what we were going to get to. But we have another session in 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah.
And that's something to consider this kind of like a practice round.
Also, look how cute this dog
Oh, it means you have to be back here in 2 weeks as well.
Oh, alright.
Yes.
Can do that.
Yeah, we need Bastion to continue to escort them as we go. So.
Oh, Bastion's our escort. I'm gonna use Bastion like Jinx doesn't everyone use Bastion.
Actually, I'm assuming that you
Have you noticed that Bastion's morphed from like a New Yorker to a stoner?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
And then I will be back.
Okay. Is he going to be fine and all that?
I don't know. I haven't got
Hi.
my answer. Liz
That's what I mean.
Liz says she's gonna be home in a half an hour, and that should be in 15 minutes. But like, I don't even know.
When did Alex leave?
Alex left at 8:30, but I don't think he walked in before he left. He walked him at 5:30 when he got there, and I don't think he did before he left because he didn't say that in his message, and no one else in the home has been very helpful yet.
Hoppers is going to be fine.
I know.
He'll be
I just
home in the
forgot
next
about it.
hour. It'll be fine.
And if Liz is gonna be home in 15 minutes too,
That's
can
what
she
I mean.
take him for a walk?
No, she'll take him out to the yard for a pee.
Oh.
But
That's
like,
at least something.
He hasn't had a nice.
I'm just frustrated only because they all told me that they had this,
Yeah.
and Emily's not responding, and Emily was the one who said that she had it.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just like I'm just neurotic about the dog.
Oh.
Super over neurotic. Sure, he's fine.
Okay. Maybe push it to 12:30 kind of thing.
12.
Okay, well 12 is when I planned. That's in like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
12.
20 minutes. Alright. So, yeah, definitely not a fight tonight. We'll just get you guys
Sorry.
a little
Like
further.
next week. Or in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
What was I in 2
That
weeks?
means you have to come and hang out with us again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sucker.
yeah, he does.
Solid crap.
And bring Bastion back. And remember this voice. Oh my
Please bring a
goodness.
vape pen next
Please-
time.
Yes!
It just seems
Whatever
so
you need
appropriate.
to, I do suggest this because I have to do this for myself sometimes. Make a note on the page of something that would remind you of how you did the voice.
Yeah.
Something you could describe to yourself that you would understand.
Describe it like a
Write
person.
it on that page.
Yeah.
He went from a New Yorker.
Happy birthday
Oh,
to you. Happy birthday to
Marley, it's your
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday, dear. Oh my goodness, those are
different colors.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
They're so pretty. They're so pretty. They're so lovely.
That's amazing.
I want to take a picture of it before they get cut.
Oh, that looks so good.
Oh my god.
That's magical.
It's vegan.
I'm so
I'm
excited.
just so proud that it's vegan, and I hope it doesn't taste like shit.
Oh,
Wait,
it'll
how old
taste
are you again,
amazing.
5?
Huh?
How old are you again now?
This
30.
many.
7.
31? 32?
32 now.
32, okay. It's Megan that's 30 now.
Yeah.
So you're older.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
like-
older than Megan. Yeah, I'm a few years older than Megan.
Yeah.
Picture. Yeah.
Looks so good.
Yeah. A knife?
Yeah.
That is gorgeous. Is that an Oreo in the middle?
It is an
Oh
Oreo.
wow.
The picture's gonna be way more impressive.
Nothing but despite the fact
Not
that
just
it's
like it to
chocolate
be.
and cream. Why is it vegan?
I like looking at things
All
that I
of it?
ate once, sometimes.
Hmm.
Marley, she
Well,
left.
that's
She's
cool.
never coming back. Marley,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
she's never
I
coming
mean,
back.
it's so beautiful, and I'm sure it's so good. It makes me wish I was vegan so that I could eat it.
Yeah.
But because it's vegan, I can't, right?
Yeah, no.
You can eat it. It's not made for vegans. It's made of vegans. Yeah.
Oh, well, in that case, let me dive in.
Yeah.
But no, like that's the thing, like you know what I mean? Like you go to a vegan restaurant, they're like, "Are you vegan?" And you're like, "No," and they're like, "Get out." No, that's the joke though. Like,
I feel like mine's kind of better.
yours is good too.
There are plates, there are bowls, there are forks, there are knives, there are
Five,
spatula.
cut it.
Nuzzles. Ooh.
Now you got lice.
You messed up my hair. I already had lice.
Oh shit!
And bed bugs, so you know, you're welcome. By the way, Orphan guy came, checked our house, didn't find a single bed bug, no evidence.
Oh, did you have that thing too?
I had, I had bed bugs, yeah, 2
They
weeks ago.
suck.
Were they actually bed bugs?
Yeah.
Did you have them in your room? Or
No,
just...
well, see, that's the thing. The first tech, the one that assaulted me, he said there was bugs in my. Yeah, he assaulted me. That was super cool.
What?
Yeah, added a fucking cherry to this whole tomato.
What happened?
He showed up half an hour early and wouldn't tell me his name. And he touched my tattoo and then said it was really nice ink. And I'm like, yeah, cool, don't touch me. Then I helped him bring a mattress out and he kind of like trapped me on the balcony. So I stepped past him. And when I did, he like touched my back tattoo and then put his fingers on it like this. And then he told me how nice my skin was. And I was like, awesome. Now I have to leave him alone in my house for 4 hours.
That's what size you were for his woman suit. he was
Oh
making?
God, I know, right?
Wait a minute, like that was the pest control guy?
Yeah,
But he was the pest.
he was the pest.
He had no control.
Ironically.
That's fucked. He had nice skin and was tough.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah, it's super gross. It's
Very
visible.
Actor.
Being a lady sucks sometimes.
Hey, girl, come get in my car.
Hey,
I want to
girl.
talk to you for a second.
Hey, you have tattoos. That
Hey,
means you're
girl.
a bag.
Come talk to
Do
me.
you have a boyfriend? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
Who
well.
is he? Who is he? Who is he?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Oh,
No, you
I
don't.
bet your boyfriend doesn't eat your pussy as good as I would eat your pussy.
Just give me a number. Just give me a
Yeah.
number.
Come
Guys,
on,
I
come
want
on.
to eat cake, not for a while.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But this guy, new professional guy, wearing a vest, gloves, and had a flashlight, didn't touch me once.
Nice.
Number one.
Yay!
Yeah.
Basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseline.
That's a good yell for you. Didn't touch me once.
Didn't touch me once. Fuck yeah. That's probably fine.
That's what you
Fine.
want in your house.
Right?
Yeah.
That would actually be a good endorsing recommendation if you could actually do that and put that on there review.
Yeah.
Just be like,
When I
no,
review-
seriously.
When I
Like,
review working, I'll just
wasn't
be like,
creepy.
wasn't
Like
creepy.
proactively. Like it's the same way that like your cell phone bill or your cable bill, how the company doesn't report how good your credit is to the credit bureau.
Yeah, they're just like, well, they're not terrible.
They only report when you do something wrong.
Yeah, so
Right.
they'll just be like, oh, it's
So actually go like,
Thanks,
oh no,
CJ.
it was fine.
Darn.
It would actually be a really good thing to add to all like company, the customer comment cards. Is the creepiness of employee.
Yeah, right?
creepiness factor.
Just a box at the bottom that says, did not touch me. X.
Sorry. I'm gonna say there's not much else to describe for this. We're gonna sunset it on. Well, we're not gonna sunset it because the sun doesn't change. It remains the entire time that you journey towards the plateau, which is a steady ascent, and like you're having a better time of it. By the way, on the first like little half day of travel, do you fly?
I was kind of thinking it was, yeah. I mean, I was kind of wrapped up in the whole situation of, talking to a dead man.
This is so good.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. How does Kieran feel about that?
not very good.
These little blobs.
As a lawful good character,
What's your moral compass telling you?
he's curious about how that kind of magic works,
Dang.
but he's also kind of like, I wouldn't do that. I don't want that.
Okay.
And I think during that he was just watching, and then afterwards,
And again,
are we heading somewhere now? Like, what's going on, guys?
I like both
of
those things. Right?
You guys are following Bastion up towards the plateau, so you're going through dense forest, but it seems to be on a grade going upwards.
Well, I would probably offer to
Did you use
go
applesauce
scout
for that
out the
instead of
terrain.
applesauce? It's the best. It is seriously.
Okay, so Giran takes off with Felix up into the air to go scout ahead, and you see once you get above the canopy, in all directions, the plain is endless. It is just very. It's not like cut and paste or like. It's not like a repeated tile pattern texture or whatever. It's like a very distinguishable, landmarky, but reaching out into forever forest and mountains and everything else.
I want to go there.
But you do see the plateau that you're coming up to, and you'll be there very soon. We're going to pause there for a second. And
Does Ness know what dinosaurs are?
nobody knows what dinosaurs are.
No.
Oh my god.
Like,
lizard.
again, you're getting big lizard from your translation of that into common.
But to be fair, being from Wormland, we have a better understanding of what a big lizard is than, say,
well, you're not really
North
getting like
dragons
a
were.
you're not getting like
Debbie would
a
definitely know a
base
thing or two about
Draco root word anywhere in it. So you're not like really thinking dragon lizard, but you're still thinking big lizard. You can imagine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie, that day that you went to sleep, you have a very specific dream.
Oh, fucking fuck. Can't he just let me, sleep?
You're in pitch blackness. You're looking all around. You're standing. You don't know where. You're standing and it's just black in all directions until eventually your face and your whole person you can start to see because it's lighting up from a warm red glow of firelight. And it's when you notice a very large hearth burning. Kind of just standing there in the darkness, you just see a freestanding hearth. And there's two high-back plush velvet red chairs seated in front. There's a set of legs dangling on one.
Do I recognize anything in this?
You just see the backs of these chairs. You're not aware that you're dreaming. So this is all just seems a little strange. Approach the.
I don't know, I'm dreaming. I don't know how much control I have over this situation.
I'm asking. That's why I'm.
Yeah, I approach it.
You get closer, and you I assume peer up. You go around. You're being cautious, even Debbie, in a dreamlike state. You're going around, and you want to get a peek of the face of the person in there. You do. You peek around the chair. They seem to be staring off into the fire of the hearth. It's a halfling. It's a very handsome halfling man with a very well-groomed, manicured goatee. Looks like money, for sure. very well to do.
I wouldn't sleep with him still.
White ruffled shirt, black velvety suit, and just has a goblet of wine in one hand. Looks over to you and says, Debbie, please, join me. Want some wine?
Yeah.
And there's a goblet of wine already in your hand as you're sitting down. It's this dream understanding of it. You're just like, oh, and then I was in a chair with a goblet of wine in my hand, and I'm sitting and I'm looking at this man. And you look into his eyes, and you see that his eyes are red. And this doesn't seem to disturb you at all. It's just whatever part of the course. And he says to you, do you like my gift?
Who are you?
Many things to many people. But right now, I'm the person asking you, like that bullet that I gave you.
Oh, you gave me the bullet. Oh,
Yeah.
see, I thought it was this guy from my past.
That's when you
Mark.
hear thump, jingle, thump, thump, jingle, thump, thump, jingle.
I look in that direction.
And as it's getting closer and closer to the firelight, it's just barely out of focus and just very faint yellows. You see a person, a humanoid maybe, arms severed at the elbow, legs severed at the knee, bound in tight straps of leather, just haphazardly like belts. Not an actual outfit,
Yeah.
but there is a leather-bound mask with no holes for eyes or
Oh, I
for a
see.
mouth or for anything, just like a leather sack over the face. It's tied tight. It's crawling around on its four stumps. It has a tea tray on its back, or not a tea tray, but like a serving tray on its back, and another bottle of wine. And it hears your voice as you stop for a moment to look at it, and it stops and kind of cocks its head. The halfling in the chair kind of just reaches forward, smiles, unzips the front zipper of the face, and there's Lord Steelhorn's face.
Oh, this is such a nice dream.
He's got blackened, eyeless sockets, no teeth and no tongue, and just kind of like just
Screaming,
trying to find where you
emptily.
are. Like it wants to scream. There's a kind of like this little rattle, and shh, 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 and zips it back up, and
Go get Zed.
and it crawls in between the two of you, and you see the bottle of wine just floats up with some sort of mage hand, uncorks and refills the glasses. And the man says, "Been watching you a long time, mate.
Thank you.
I see great things for you, and I want to work with you. Please, keep enjoying the gift. But I have something else for you." And he pulls out
Don't trust it.
a box.
Ooh, isn't that pretty?
He says,
Ooh, it's so pretty. It's torched.
"It's from your mother."
Ooh.
Something to connect you with your past. I'm looking out for you. And you wake up. When you come to, after you've slept in a little bit and the camp is already getting packed up, you wake up, you're clutching that in your hands.
Shit, bitch.
There's an inscription on the inside.
Yes, I see that. I don't want to open it again for that horrible noise. Our little
something.
Tuna.
Tuna!
Yeah.
Our little tuna.
I do have a smell. don't I?
That would be a great comedy, like a sitcom.
Yeah.
Our little
Yeah.
tuna.
Our little
And that's where we're going to end our session. for
What a
tonight.
cool.
Ah!
Glennon, you're cool.
Right?
That's pretty fucking cool. It smells burnt.
5 helped with that a bit too. Yeah, I torched it.
I thought
set
she
it on
burnt
fire.
it.
No, no, I
Yeah,
got
no,
to
you
set it
set
on
it
fire.
on fire.
to
I
get it.
found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a lot of